Hey everybody, it's Coach Clint. Welcome to my kitchen today, and today we are going to expose to you guys where those hidden calories are coming from that might have you think that you're eating less calories than you actually are, but you're actually eating more. And eating more calories than you're aware of is definitely one of the number one reasons, okay, to be stuck at your weight loss goals, not making progress, or even going backwards and gaining weight. So there is an ingredient that is in nearly everything that we eat that is used for the preparation of what we eat. It's used for the flavoring of what we eat. And that ingredient tends to be the most calorie dense ingredient that you can find, but it is easily hidden in everything we eat. So if you haven't already guessed what that ingredient is, it is oil, you guys. Oil is the hidden calorie killer as far as getting those calories in your diet without even knowing it. Now, oil in a liquid state we call oil, right? But in a solid state like butter or lard, we would also consider it a fat. So the reality is there is no difference between oil and fat. Fats generally are oils are generally fats. It's the same thing, okay? But oil in this liquid form goes into our foods and increases our calories dramatically without us even knowing it. Now, before I go any further, I do want to let you know that there are health benefits to fats and oils. I'm not saying that fats and oils aren't good for you. There's a lot of nutrient benefits to them. I am also not saying that fat makes you fat, okay? Eating fat does not make you fat. I'm going to cover that with you in another video called Eating Fat versus Being Fat. But until then, we want to focus today on what oil does as far as our calorie intake. Because in order to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And you need to know how many calories you're getting per day, more or less. Okay, but oil will throw you off because it can be hidden in our food. So just to give you an understanding, first of all, also, I know a lot of people say, well, I use olive oil, I use coconut oil, avocado oil. All those oils are great. They all have different nutrients, but they all have more or less the same caloric value, which is around 120 to 130 calories per tablespoon. Now, I know when we talk about tablespoons, we can't maybe visualize that, so I actually wanted to give you a visual example of an actual tablespoon of oil. So this is a tablespoon of oil. This is 130 calories. So you can imagine it's a liquid, it's not very much. It can go into food and you don't even know it's there. And that's what makes oils and these fats so dangerous when it comes to our weight loss goals. Now, I put that same tablespoon of oil, because we use oil to prepare food, I actually put that in a pan. Now, this is 130 calories of oil, and you can see that it's barely enough to grease this pan. And this is just the cooking process. This isn't counting whatever other oil we put in. Also, where else do we use oils? We use oils to flavor things. Even things that we consider healthy, we can turn into high caloric meals. For example, a salad. Most salads, you want to have a dressing. That dressing is usually based on some kind of oil or some kind of cream, which contains a fat, which is essentially a fat and oil, the same thing. So we can easily take 2 or 3 spoons of a salad dressing, which is still not much depending on the size of our salad, and we can take a 150 calorie healthy salad and we can turn it into a 400 or 500 calorie salad, which is almost equivalent to a majority of your calories for one meal. And you might have that as a side salad to your regular meal. So you can imagine what could happen there. Another example that I like to use, because it gets a bad rap, is carbohydrates. So this is a bowl of rice, okay? Now this rice is 100 grams of rice. 100 grams of cooked rice has approximately 130 calories. That was the same as the tablespoon of oil that I just showed you. So this and this are actually equal in calories. Now what happens when we take rice, because rice often has what? Oil. Cooked in some form of oil. So I just added that tablespoon of oil into this bowl of rice. So this bowl of rice now went from 130 calories to over 260 calories. So we literally doubled the calorie content of this bowl of rice just by adding 1 tablespoon of oil. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Actually, in this bowl of rice, number 1 is there's 2 tablespoons of oil. Now, do you know that there's two tablespoons of oil in this rice? No, you do not. So what that means is that this bowl of rice is now well over 300, almost 400 calories, okay, of calorie intake. So you can imagine even cutting back on your rice, but if there's oil in your rice, how many less calories are you actually getting? So is it the rice that's giving you the calories, or is it the oil that's going inside? So you guys got to really watch out and pay attention to the oil. So here's a solution for you real quickly, okay? Number 1 solution, start eating in more often than you're eating out. As soon as you eat out, the amount of oil that you are going to take into your diet dramatically increases. The reason is oils and fats make your food taste better. And when you eat outside, you're eating in the food industry. They're competing for your business and they want their food to taste good. When you eat inside, you can control the amount of oil that goes into your food. There's all sorts of other amazing tips, tricks, and hacks as well. So another one is I love tea, and I have a special tea here that actually helps me to raise my metabolic rate. So even when I'm sitting, I'm watching TV, I'm working at my desk, drinking a glass of this tea can offset those hidden calories that I'm not calculating into my diet. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, that's fine, but I exercise anyways. Well, just to give you a little bit of an understanding, that tablespoon of 130 calories of oil, it takes you approximately 15 to 30 minutes, the average person, between 15 to 30 minutes of an aerobic exercise to burn that 1 tablespoon of oil. So if you are working out for an entire hour, doing some basic aerobic exercise, maybe the first half hour, the first 50% of your workout is just burning the calories from that 1 tablespoon of oil that went into your rice that you didn't even know about, okay? Also, at the same time, just to give you an idea about how this oil adds up, if you were to take a little bit more than 30 tablespoons of oil per month, around 35 tablespoons of oil per month in your diet extra, okay, you would be gaining roughly around half a kilo of body weight per month. Now, 35 tablespoons of oil in your diet, what does that turn into? It's roughly 1 extra tablespoon of oil, which you didn't know was there, in your diet per day will give you a half a kilo weight gain. And you'll be wondering, where did that half a kilo come from? Well, I just told you. So without further ado, make sure to start working on watching your oil, eating inside, getting the hacks, the tips, and the tricks to make sure that you can offset these hidden calories and get the results that you want.